It is time to start our science unit. Are you excited? So we are going to work today on just creating something that we're going to use for science over the next several days. Because in science, we're going to be working on testing independent variables. So you are the scientists, and a scientist can change things in an experiment to see how it affects the outcome, how it affects what happens at the end of the experiment. So we're going to be doing a paper horse experiment, a walking paper horse, and I'll explain what that, how that works in another video. But today I want to focus on just making the paper horse. So if you are virtual, I have put a copy of the template that you need. If you have printing capabilities, you can print it and cut it out. If you can't print, that's fine too. What you need to do though is draw something that's the same. So it'll be, well, what's 5 plus 5 plus 5? Count by 5, 3 times, 5, 10, 15. So you'll have to draw this to be 15 centimeters long and then divide it up into 5 centimeter sections. And then this way, I put the measurements there so you can see. This will be a 1.5 centimeter, 1.5, and 1.5. So parents might need to help do that, or you could just have the kids do it and work on measurement, which isn't a skill we've learned in math yet. But if you don't have a ruler to do this, you could literally just trace it on the screen, and yours may be a different size than ours, but you could put up a piece of paper up to your screen and trace it, or just do the best you can. It is what it is. So today I'm going to show you how to cut this out, and that is all we're going to be doing for today. In class, your teacher's going to give you the blue one. Teachers, I know I'm giving you 3 different papers, 3 different papers, so only do the blue one. That is just a regular piece of paper. I just made it blue so we could tell the difference, because you'll do another one that's white. So I'm going to show you how to do it. All you're going to need today is your piece of paper and a pair of scissors and maybe a pencil, because that's what I use to curl the tail, but that's it. So once everybody has their materials, then go ahead, pause this video until everybody has their materials ready, and then you can go step by step so that your class can do this with me. Okay, first step, you want to cut out the edges so that it is a rectangle without the extra paper. So we're just gonna, let me show you what that looks like. And then this is the only scraps that you'll have a little tiny bit more, but it should look like a rectangle. And then the scraps, just go ahead and throw that on the floor, right? No, leave that in a pile, and we'll throw that away at the end, but leave it on your desk. Okay, so now it looks like this. So everybody pause your video and cut it out so that it looks like this, and unpause when it doesn't look like this. I mean, when it does look like this. I don't know. Okay, next step. You're only going to cut on the dotted lines. So dotted, 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 dotted on each side. Why don't you watch first? And you want to be kind of precise. That means not like all over the place, just cutting fast. Because first of all, you might cut your hair or something, or your skin. But you don't want to cut past that line. If one side is longer than the other, then your horse might be lopsided or crooked. So you're going to cut on the line. I did these 2 first snips. Okay, so that I've got 3 sections. You can see this is going to be the head, and those are the legs. But then if you look closely at the legs have that little line, okay? So you're going to cut on that line so that you have like an angle. See? And then cut on that other line. Be real careful. I gave your teacher extras if you need an extra because you messed up, but they only have a couple, so don't go crazy on them. All right, then the other side, only on the dotted lines. Go slow so you stop where you're supposed to, and then cut those little edges so that right now it looks like this, okay, with the crooked feet. And then that will be the only stuff that you cut, so you're done with scissors after you've done this. So everybody go ahead and pause the video and do that part. So now we're ready to fold. So to fold this, the legs need to go down, And as you can see, the tail and head go up, but I really didn't fold the tail, I curled it. So first we're going to have all of the legs go down. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the leg and you're going to fold it. Now try to get it as close to that line as possible. It's not really something I'm gonna have success holding up and doing. I need to do it flat on my desk. So let me see if I can arrange my camera. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna fold it back and try to get it really straight on that line. See what I mean? That I did it right on that line that was in the crease. And then do it to the other leg. So I'm leaving the middle one up, but the other two go down so that I can see if it's on the plain side. I can now see the words that say leg, leg. And then I'm gonna do the other side. Only the legs. Fold. You want them to try to be straight, because if they're crooked, it will be, your horse might not stand correctly. All right, so now it should look like this, so that you have all 4 legs pointing down. So pause the video and fold all 4 legs pointing down. Okay, now you have one side that's the head and one side that's the tail. For the tail to curl it, if you get a pencil, and it doesn't matter if it's a mechanical pencil, a regular pencil, sharpened, not sharpened, marker, whatever. And you're going to gently, so you don't rip the tail off. And if you do rip the tail off, just use it without a tail. I don't think we need to start all over for a ripped tail, or you could tape it or something, although that may affect the outcome of your experiment. You're going to really gently, you're going to put your pencil on the end of the tail, and you're going to kind of wrap it around. See how I'm like rolling it up? Wrap it around the pencil up until you get to the bottom part where the body is. Then you're going to just kind of push it a little bit and then let go, and it will curl it. So everybody go ahead and curl your tail. Make sure you curl the tail side. All right, the last step is to do the head. And if you look at the way the head is, we're going to fold it up, and then it's going to have kind of this little creased part. Mine isn't like amazing, but it works. So watch first. Please don't do this while I'm showing you. Watch first, and then I'll have you pause and do it. So you're going to fold it the opposite way the legs. The legs are down, so I'm going to fold the head back. Try to do it on that little line. Okay, step 1. And then, now that it's sticking up, we need to give it that little part that makes it look more like an actual head. There's not a mark where you do it, so you decide if you want the head to be kind of small, do it towards the top. If you want to be a little bigger, do it towards the bottom. I'm going to do mine a little above the middle. Just watch, and I'm going to fold that part in. And now you could be done there if this is complicated. You could stop right there. But the way it showed in the video that I watched is that you put your finger, now that you've folded that, you put your finger right here, and then you kind of scrunch that in a little bit so it's got a little shape to it. I don't know if this really affects the way it works or if it just looks more like a horse when it's like that. I don't know. But after you've done that, then you have a finished horse. So what I think you should probably do is put your name on the underside of it. So I'm going to write, and I could flatten it out a little just to do this part. I'm going to write Mrs. Yankee. Make sure that you write it clearly so that you can actually read it, because if you don't write it clearly, your teacher might not know whose it is. So write your name on the under part of it, and then your teacher can have you put it in a certain spot in the room. We don't want to shove these in our desk because they might get messed up. So teachers put them like on a table somewhere or a bookshelf where people aren't going to mess with them and where they're still kind of separated so they're not on top of each other. And then we will start using them tomorrow when we start talking about variables. Today's focus was to just prep the horse so we knew how to do it. And we will be making other horses on different types of paper, so you may need to watch this video again when you do that part, unless you would just remember how to do it. So, all right, we'll see you tomorrow with testing variables.